because he's free of the shackles of Rao, right? He was made to be.
Durandal didn't put the shackles on him. Rao did.
And Durandal reinforced it. It's like, oh, you are like him.
Bullshit.
He just said it. There's a
bullshit. Bullshit. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back for the final episode of Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Destiny. And to clarify, we are going to be watching Stargazer after, we're going to be watching the movie after. It's not the final episode of Mobile Suit Gundam Seed. It's just the final episode.
Or Gundam in general, yeah.
Well, yeah.
More Gundam to go, yeah.
Well, I mean, we're currently doing the full watch through of Universal Century. If you haven't seen any of that, I'm surprised. But also, I guess the plan is to do Gundam Wing after Seed's done. A show that we've both seen before, but I guess have never taken a critical eye to.
No.
I guess we're going to really get to a breakdown of what we think about birthdays and vis-a-vis death.
Yes.
Do. All right. I really don't know what to say here because the ending of Gundam Seed Destiny so far has been a disappointment.
We were warned that it started strong and then it would slither down, but we had no idea it was going to be this.
Well, I mean, that's the problem, is that I know once we say that to everybody who doesn't skip ahead right to the reaction part itself, which is, I know, according to Google Analytics, 98% of you, probably don't want to hear that. Like, you know, I assume most people that are going out to watch the reaction to a show are people that like the show, and not people, actually, that's been my experience. It's people who like the show and don't want to hear critical reception to it.
Negative, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's typically what being critical is. Mm-hmm. It's negative feedback. No one's critical in a positive way.
I'm going to stop myself from going into the rabbit hole of pedantry and agree with you on this one.
Well, no, I mean, that was like my last note there was literally the note. Not a lot of people are critical in a positive way. I mean, you can get positive reinforcement through being critical, right?
No. I know, and it's not you. It's not you. It's me. I know. There's a part of me going like, I want to say something, but it's stupid, and I'm not going to say it.
Oh, okay. So, I was going to go through the whole thing before. Like, I've often said, what are you being pedantic for? You know, the thing that I'm typically guilty of. But when you actively go out of your way to say, I'm not going to say a thing, my first thought is, what am I wrong about? Like, am I wrong about being critical? I don't think I'm wrong about being critical.
You're not. It's just a technicism that doesn't.
Well, it's also the thing we discussed before about the comment section, where I was like, I hope you're not upset that I'm being critical about a show. And I was like, you're not being critical, you're being nitpicky. And it's like, at what level does being critical not being nitpicky? It's the same thing in my mind. And I'm breaking down a thing. Well, there was, sorry, not to jump into a different thing, but there was also a complaint that you spent so much time. Actually, this is to both of us. Actually, I remember, not a solo show. This was a two of us show. You spend so much time discussing a thing that's of no importance. And my argument to that is, if I spend a lot of time talking about a thing, it's important to me. So, therefore, it's important. Might not be important to you, but to be fair, you're not in the video. And I mean you, I don't mean you Lessons, I mean you, the commenter.
I know.
And before that comes to some sort of weird crack on our watchers. Yeah, we do a lot of audience back and forth, so it's not like we don't care about you. The whole comment section is for you. The board is technically kind of for you as well. We want to hear what you guys say. We want interaction between you and us. That's cool. It's fun. You know, it's the entire reason to do this online and not for just me and Lessons to watch stuff together on our own. You know? So it's not like I don't care what the audience thinks. It's just the element of, I'm the one recording this. I'm not editing your reactions. You're watching mine.
I mean, we have our opinions. That's what we're here. So
yeah. You know. Otherwise, I would just watch other people and listen to. I do watch other reactors. I'm in the space because I'm a fan of the space, right? But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Of course, the real takeaway should be get some thicker skin, nerd. Not to the commenter, to me, as the person reading the comments.
I don't like that phrase, and let me tell you why.
Which one, nerd or thicker skin?
Thicker skin. I think because ultimately it backfires. You get such a thick skin that the only thing that gets through is whoever is gonna be a bomb to it. Like people like, if you get such a thick skin and people are like, the only people you're gonna listen to, people are like, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. My view on it is that you have to get good filters, right? You have to get a series of filters that filter down the people that are not helpful to you, what you want to do. Because somebody can come aggressive and then make a good point, right? Like, okay, you came a little aggressive, maybe use some strong language, but I can agree with you. And some people like could be, oh, you're the best, and say nothing at all. Like, so it's more like it's more like a series of filters. Thick skin to me always sounds like eventually sort of everything bounces back and nothing really gets through. So like, yes, you're protected, but mostly protected from everything, good and bad. But that's just my take on it.
Two thoughts. One serious, one not. The serious one is more so the to piggyback, the element that you're also going to be up on guard the whole time. A thick skin means that you're going to suspect everybody of something. So every even compliment you're going to have a thick skin for, because it could be a backhanded compliment out of nowhere, right? Second thing is, I only said that because I was thinking of The Good Place. You've seen The Good Place? Yeah. One of those early season 1 episodes where she's talking about Chidi, and she's like, I wish you wouldn't say that. It's like, I said a lot of good things too. Get a thicker skin, nerd. Because, she's complimenting him in the scene, but every compliment ends with like, big fucking nerd or something like that. I said a lot of nice things too. Get a thicker skin, nerd. So even in context of where I'm taking it from, it is literally someone being told a lot of good stuff and then getting stabbed in the back a little bit. But no, I mean, in the realm of online comment reading, people say shit online, and it's there's a reason why a lot of actually successful YouTube people got to go to therapy. It's hard to take in a lot of constant negative feedback. Because there's also the element that you get more negative feedback than you do get positive feedback. Things that you're doing well, people don't tend to bring up because you're doing well.
Yeah. Why mess with a good thing, right?
Well, I know I'm personally, it's a fault. One of the faults of mine is I don't compliment people on things often. I don't like this, right? I have a lot of people that I really do enjoy talking to are really good about bringing up things that you're good about and complimenting you about them, whereas it's just not a headspace that I'm in. But to think about, people might need positive reinforcement sometimes, so I should probably say to people that I'm around, that's a good point, or you're really observant for having noticed that. I wouldn't have never noticed that. That's why you're here. Shit like that. Like, it's not in me. I don't think that way, and that makes me worse. A worse person, I think.
Worst for wear, I guess.
Well, nature or nurture. We talked about that earlier.
We will again, because we're kind of past that point in Gundam, but yeah.
I don't know. I think that's probably a point in a lot of Gundam shows, so even if we're past it here in this one, it's going to be a thing somewhere again. How do you explain what these people are doing? Well, they did it as a result of where they come from, or is it a result of, Zeon wrote a whole thing about the evolution of species in space. So, is it partly responsible for what he describes? Is a new type due to strife, or is it due to life in space? If it's strife, then that's nurture. If it's due to life in space, that's nature. Even Zeon can't figure it out. He is apparently the smartest of us.
Really the deadest of us, though.
Well, to be fair, I guess arguably there are less dead people, like Lala, versus more dead people who don't even show up in flashbacks. Because what is the most true form of death? To be forgotten. Dead and forgotten is more dead than dead and remembered. Not a lot of people left flashing back to Zeon.
Nope.
Well, actually, technically they are. We keep flashing back to his funeral, so...
Yeah. What was important about him? That he died.
Well, what was important about him, who killed him, was the most important part, apparently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Since we've talked for about 10 minutes now, and I think maybe 1 minute of it had to do with Gundam Seed, I guess there's nothing left to do but hop on in.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
To make sure the Destiny plan goes off. By the way, remember when this thing was being piloted by Kigali and it got its arm cut off? And now it's just fucking invincible?
Well,
yeah, shots like that only... They've said that since Season 1. I made a note about how the stuff in the background is just nonsense.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, the Archangel getting shot really only happened to remind you that Ramius has boobs. Every scene where she goes,
yeah. Cool. I fucking hate you, Atherin. I mean, she has to take him out of the fight without killing them, so...
Yeah, nothing like being stranded on the moon in a spaceship with giant holes all over it. Survival.
I mean, eventually they can be rescued.
Yeah, eventually.
Once the battle's over.
Once the battle's over, cool. When's that going to be? Also, how much air do we have left? Do these things you know? I'm sure Atherin doesn't know them. But I'm sure he's also just going to fucking leave. So, I'm just saying. Also, you would love that. I love that scene that we watched in the show where Atherin walks away from a Kigali when she's standing around in her underwear. And then her bodyguard also just standing off in the distance. That one. I remember when we watched this episode. Best episode of the show. They investigated so much shit.
No, the thing is, that guy is was he watching over them while whatever was happening?
He's her bodyguard. He's the guy I keep referring to as Egyptian Rambo.
Yeah.
Because ironically, he wears that outfit that he has in that shot.
Yeah.
Throughout all of Season 1 until the very end where he appears in his like commander uniform. He hasn't worn that his entire show. So, what was the point? Again,
his point was to infiltrate. It was there to infiltrate the air forces, so it could be in the right place to save Atherin and what's her name?
I meant more so. What was the point of having him wear that uniform or that outfit that he hasn't worn since Season 1 in the opening of the show in a scene that doesn't happen? This opening only exists to sexualize the women of Gundam Seed.
Yeah,
as I just pointed out in the pre-opening segment. Anytime the Archangel gets hit, Ramius bounces her chest all over the screen because that's what all that exists for. We knew our market, and it was boys going through adolescence. Oh, Talia getting shot down, gonna piss off Durandal? Also, some small irony in being called Neo Genesis. New Genesis? He's a little bit less ironic than the DCA for New Genesis as a planet. Why is she in fucking seed mode? She doesn't do anything. What she can do? Give her commands better? if you were actually in the target of fire, the time it would take to say engines full, evade, wouldn't have been enough for even your engines to go full and evading. You were just trying to kill them yourself. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
The shield was clearly up.
Hmm.
Oh, cool. We just could have done that the whole time. Also, Moo's new thing just goes through shields.
I guess so.
Why are we even here? Lala sent me.
Now. Yeah, Lala. Yeah.
My theory that Lala created the multiverse. Why did you put me underwater? You know I hated drowning.
Yeah. And naked. Well, naked seems to be the thing here. If this is what changes Shin's mind, a conversation with a ghost. Because you weren't the main character. Look, we knew Luna would forgive him for fucking anything. She thought he killed his sister and he gave her a kiss. Just you losing everything you ever cared about. To be fair, the Messiah looks fucking stupid. Once it started moving around and everything, it's like, oh. I meant to say that. This, Yeah.
It's basically the Battle of Solomon, so I expected it was going to get, like, hit with a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Badass doesn't move during explosions.
Yeah.
Also, just me, or is there like a lot more stars in the sky all of a sudden? Yeah, I guess not much now, but to watch it all happen. Oh, you better not be Talia's the one that kills Durandal.
I thought it was a problem with the video, but in fact, the fact that the screen is pixelated, you know, it's like, because it's broken. I like that.
But how lucky are you that every explosion in your control room didn't blow open the wall behind you into space?
And killed everyone else except for Durandal.
You make it. We haven't seen him. Doesn't say. He just appeared here in the opening. We didn't see the entire path between him and the control room. I see your gun and I match it with gun. As evidenced by the existence of a movie. Pretty sure the movie isn't them going on a picnic. Except no, because we didn't let 98% of the world make a choice. We just did this.
Well, he did.
No, the whole conversation we had an episode ago, before we went into this whole super weapon shit. They launched their attack before everything else. Remember when everybody was a coordinator?
Yeah.
Literally none of these people should be better than anybody else. Except for Kira, who's the ultimate coordinator, but dude can't even spot a bullet getting shot behind him. Don't do it, Talia. We legit know you're the only person he actually loves.
Well, who else would be able to kill him?
I'm saying, it's so trite. I don't want it to happen. Also, you were literally fighting for everything he believed in just moments ago. Legit, I want Durandal to turn around and shoot a hole in the window behind him. Take everybody out. Ray, you son of a bitch. You knew it was going to be a Patrick mirror thing.
So it was Ray.
Yeah, well, I fucking knew it's a mirror. Patrick was shot by one of his own guys. This guy got shot by one of his own guys. I guess at least it wasn't Talia.
I mean, I kind of like that it was that Ray was the one who did it, and only in that.
I don't like that anybody did it. To be fair, there was no Durandal gets shot that I would appreciate.
Because he's free of the shackles of Rao, right? He was made to be.
Durandal didn't put the shackles on him. Rao did.
And Durandal reinforced it. It's like, oh, you are like him.
Bullshit.
He just said it. There's a
bullshit. Bullshit. Don't shoot yourself in the head.
He's gonna die there? Oh my god. You can leave him. Why? Okay, now that I don't like.
Well, at least she didn't shoot herself in the head. That's literally what I thought was about to happen. No, legit, I was thinking to myself, it'd be perfect for me if we all just stood here for a couple more minutes and the whole place came down. She had an outside family, but she's gonna die with the family that she had.
But she has a family. She has a boy, so...
Yeah, she only cares about the boy, but she's then giving directions to Ramius, so... Ramius and Mu are gonna have an adopted kid, I guess. God forbid whatever happened to that dad guy that we never met.
Yeah. Oh, Ray's dying, so...
You did a great job killing this guy next to us. To be fair, Ray is a bit of a tortured soul.
Yeah.
He was raised in a dark room.
Sense, but yeah, he was groomed to be Rao's successor. And to be a tool for...
What about Kira and Atherin? I spit on myself a little bit, I'm so upset.
Yeah. But Talia could live.
You know the best thing to do with characters that actually had development? Kill them.
Yeah. She called her mother?
Yeah.
I guess because she's the only woman that.
What did I
seems in her
literally
life
just
to-
say? Lessons.
Yeah.
She's dying with the family that she got. I'm not like totally upset about the Talia dying with them thing. It's very much an emotional moment. I just wish it hadn't gone this way. It's really hard gonna make. It's gonna be really hard for you to make it seem like this is worse than the end of Last War.
Mhm.
zaft 現最高司令官に申し上げます。私どもはこの中域でのこれ以上の戦闘継続は無意味と考え、それを望みません。
Although on the other hand, since you all were following a war criminal, that also makes you war criminals. So please line up for summary arrest.
Yeah.
Since we've also made ourselves judges of everybody everywhere,
Mhm.
I am the law.
No.
You know, it's pretty horrible what's happened so far, but I really appreciate our choices to make fireworks our return signal.
Yeah.
It's also kind of funny that fireworks is how they celebrate the life of a dead person at a funeral in Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Mm.
To avenge my sister's death. Destroy Orb, actually. I made it my goal to destroy Orb. How did that work out? Did we do it? Guys?
Yeah. Is anybody gonna rescue them? I hope somebody's gonna rescue them.
Cool, but these
But
two
it's-
get a happy ending.
Yeah.
You know what I hope the movie is? I hope the movie is one of those countries that got the Destiny plan, was like, this is a pretty good idea.
That's
It's just that.
implemented.
Yeah. Guys, I don't think we're good at electing people.
Yeah.
This is the second time now. What have you been looking at? Wasn't this
A
like on the
screen, I
dark
guess.
side of the moon? No, those people are standing outside.
Yeah.
Also, these are a bunch of people from season 1, so
Plan and Orb was gonna agree to truce. Yeah.
cool. That's how season 1 ended.
Yeah.
I know who that woman is, and I cannot remember. I thought for a moment I saw Eileen Canaver, because I keep waiting for her, but I don't think that was her before either.
Is she elected the new representative of the plants?
You figured that would be the other lesson to learn, is don't trust a Lacus, because you never know which one's the real one.
Mm.
じゃあ、お墓ないの
?100% forgiveness 100% of the time. I really wish they had carved something in there that was readable. It said Shin. Yeah, we can't read this either.
Yeah.
Oh, the monument back at Orb where
Yeah,
Gali
all
was
the
mourning her
flowers.
father.
ここ嫌ででもずっと気になっててこんな風じゃなかったこんなところじゃごまかせないってことかもいくら綺麗に花が咲いても人はまた吹き飛ばすでもこんなのはもっと嫌だ
シン
He's gonna throw the phone.
No, I doubt
We'll
that.
see.
That'd be horrible. Because you can't take that back. Once you ruin that phone, it's ruined.
Yeah.
Kira.
I would love it if this show ends with literally Shin running up to Kira and punching him in the face. What a weird way to go. It would be so fucking weird. I would love it. And never do we cover the fact that he was there at the fight that caused the explosion.
Shin.
He has a different jacket, so.
彼がキラだ。キラヤマト。フリーダムのパイロットだ。
Strangle them. Go for it. Get revenge, Shin. Yeah, technically he should be dead. Remember, the cockpit sank to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
ダメかな。
God, I fucking hate this. People don't change like this. I hate this. I hate it when you're so completely unrealistic. Yes, I know, I'm talking about a Gundam show, but...
I mean, traumatic experiences can change people.
Oh, don't turn into Justin. Trauma bonding. No. He trauma bonded with the other 4 people that were around him.
また花を植えるよ。きっと。
Because that's all it took to change Shin's mind. A promise to be part-time gardener.
それが俺たちの戦いだな。一緒に戦おう。
Fight? They're gonna keep. The war's supposed to be over. What are you fighting?
Well, because people are always going to keep fighting. Remember, that's why we fought the war. To be able to keep fighting wars.
Yeah. Well, I would say not to be enslaved, but sure.
No, it was for freedom, remember? Specifically the freedom to be able to fight. I'm assuming this is where Gundam 00 gets the idea. Because every Gundam kind of copies the last Gundam. Kind of like Doctor Who. Every new Doctor is influenced by the last Doctor's adventures.
Oh, wait. Is Athlon walking away with... So what happened to Kigali? I guess they broke up then. They're...
Do you not remember that Kigali gave him the ring back?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the implication. Oh, you probably were influenced by the opening where he's walking away from a friendly one-night stand.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Walt. Fucking Waltfield. I don't know what happened to Waltfield.
Yeah.
And fuck these two. And her. Oh, Schaffenfoss, or what the fuck her name is. Right there, the brown-haired girl.
Yeah.
Appeared in season 1 for like one scene. And then this, right here. You guys think we spent too much on hallways?
Yeah.
Don't bow. No one's ever bowed. No one bowed to Patrick or Durandal. This promotion comes out of nowhere for me. Yeah, wouldn't be next time on, would there?
No.
I am unsatisfied. I mean, there was no way I was going to be satisfied, so unrealistic expectations, I guess, but this is... There's no way... I don't know how you managed to hit a mark of 100%. I don't like how anybody wrapped up, but you done it. Even Gundam 00, where I didn't like most of the characters, or I didn't like the main character. Even that, I was satisfied with a couple of the endings. Ambulatory Orphans, I was very satisfied. All the main characters died. I was very happy.
Okay.
Well, because the people I was rooting for essentially got a good ending. Because it turns out they weren't the bad guys. The good guys were the bad guys. From a perspective.
Okay, something I've been hinting I was going to talk about, and the thing I really hate about this show. And it's more about a commentary on modern media in general. And 79 actually started with this. And I know why 79 did it. 79 was a reaction to the super robot. Oh, the good guys are very, very good, and the bad guys are very bad. Sort of black and white kind of situation. Although I'm sure, shows like Voltus 5 and others have, have their nuances. You can have nuanced characters.
I mean, I've argued about that a lot during Voltes 5, is how shitty some of these heroes are.
Yeah. But the heroes are heroes and the villains are villains, right? And 79 wanted to introduce the idea that war is messy and that, people are people and all that. But the problem I have, starting with 79 now, all the way here to Seed, to 20, 30 years later, is the idea that you have somebody like Durando who wants to change the world, right? I don't agree with the Destiny plan. And I'll talk to you about that in a moment.
I mean, you don't have to go at length about why you don't agree with it. We've had so many debates. I know why you don't.
I do, but I did agree with the fact that he was like, hey, listen, the people that are effing the world have names and addresses. We have to take care of them, right? The overall idea is don't change anything, right? The protagonists were fighting to maintain the status quo where you had murderous, genocidal, racist idiots ruling the world. Because, conflict is bad. Well, we're going to fight for the right to fight, but warfare is bad. So we're going to fight so you guys don't fight, so don't change the world, right? The idea that Durandal is seen as a revolutionary, that's why I quoted Marx, right? He's somebody who wants to change the world. And he's basically put in a situation like, anybody who actually wants to change the world, ultimately, it's also a bad guy. Because they're always positioned in a way that they will, do horrible things. They cannot be trusted. The only path forward is to maintain things as they are. And maybe, change things a little bit here and there, but that's about it, right? 79 was like, we have a people who are being oppressed. They're fighting for their freedom. Okay. Let them become, instant war criminals and murder billions of people, right? It's the idea. It's not, I'm not opposed to showing that the good guys or the rebels are flawed, or even show that among them you have extremists, right? And that things can go wrong. But the idea is like, you clearly position this Durandal as being the opposite of cartoonish, mass murdering, genocidal fucks. And then and that he's right about taking down logos, but then you literally put in the words of at least two of the logos members, this guy feels like a saint. He thinks he's going to save the world. Nobody's really like that. And guess what? The show proved them right. Proved the horrible villains to be right. Because you can't change the world. You can't make anything better. Sure. Ending war in one day it's not possible. I understand that. But as somebody who believes in progressive ideals that you can make things better, the fact that somebody's fighting to make things better and not just maintain the status quo is not something to be shut down because anybody who tries, they're going to turn into an instant mass murdering fuck, right? They're always wrong. The only course of action is enforce centrism. And I am sick and tired of that.
I don't know. I guess my problem is that I am a right-wing leftist. So I am in that central area. So that was also in a debate me and Griffin used to have, is that I tend to fall on centrist matters. I don't know. Again, the difficulty here is that if you break down the meta-narrative of everything, it is far more political and nuanced discussion than the show actually gives. Mm-hmm. What you're saying... I'm sorry, the word isn't coming to my head. Reductive was the word came to my head. That's the opposite. Repetitive? Cyclical, maybe? Cyclical is this show in a nutshell. One is repeating itself from season 1, but it's also repeating themes across its own season. As you stated, the insanity of Gibril trying to assert control is then itself reasserted in Durandal's I can't take any chances, this is the way things need to be, and I need to assert that with my authority. Except that's not the characterization that we've been proposed that he has. Even in the more insane propositions of he's responsible for Break the World, which again, the show doesn't actually go into. So technically, that is just a theory that he is responsible for it because there's no proof.
There's no real proof of anything, really. The show doesn't, and from a technical perspective, writing perspective, the show basically points at things and goes like, this happened. You're like, okay, are you gonna dig into that? Whether investigations or connect the dots? No, we're not gonna do that. If you think you have an idea, doesn't matter because we're gonna do this anyway. Essentially, I criticize this show because it was essentially made for people who like a lot of battles and to sell model kits. Gunpla. This was made for Gunpla.
I will say I really enjoyed some of the characters this season.
Yeah.
Certainly, I enjoyed more characters this season than I did the first season. But then again, you could also argue that a lot of the problems that I had with characters carried over from the first season, so I just kept not liking characters in the first season. Like, I really liked Shin. Don't like how Shin's story ended. Granted, probably the best ending Shin could get, but I would prefer he gets a realistic ending where he winds up dead as a result of his path for vengeance, because I feel like that's what would really happen to a character like him.
Yeah. I think the problem with Shin is I wanted to like him, and then essentially he got sidelined. He became everybody's bitch, basically, And it was like, he just...
I would argue
he wasn't even doing his own thing.
I would argue that what you're facing with him is a Worf scenario, in that we put Worf up against every villain so that everybody knows how bad that villain is because of how expected badass Worf is supposed to be. Except that he gets his ass kicked so often that we no longer think Worf is a badass. We used him so much to prove how badass everybody else was that now he sucks. Well, Shin is so badass that everybody needs him. So everybody that's working to get him on their side, Shin is just going back and forth from. So now it looks like he has no agency. So how badass can a person be who can't make decisions on their own? So, it works against him. It's a really weird problem to have, but apparently a lot of shows do it. So
Also, I think the problem might have been that they brought back the old characters into this show. They could have been, Lacus, Kira, they could have been in the background, right? They didn't do much with them anyways, if I have a couple of fights. Have them in the background, have, Lacus be investigating, whatever, and it should have been Phantom Pain and the Minerva, right? Because I really was invested in Minerva. I liked the Minerva crew. I like Gladys, Talia, which I hated why she decided to commit suicide.
Again, I don't have that much of a problem with it. It really irons out.
Sense to me.
Well, it really irons out what their emotional connection was to each other. They could have spent more time establishing that to make that a better payoff in the end. But it's really how I thought they were connected to begin with. So her choice to do that, her choice to abandon her own kid, maybe not so much, but that was introduced late into the idea was that she went with the other guy to have a kid. But they never established that she did, and then she's sleeping with Durandal from the beginning anyway. So, again, they shouldn't have done that either. But the idea that when we ever showed looking at a kid that she clearly has, it's like, well, we'll erase that in the remake. Like, we're going to cut this down by 10 episodes on our own. 15 episodes on our own fan edit. And we're going to cut out a bunch of scenes like that hurt future scenes. Sorry, I was going into this meaning to talk about a specific thing, and then I went into the whole you were not happy with Talia's death, and I forgot completely what I was about to talk about.
Yeah. I actually like Arthur. I wish he was a little more than just comedy, really. Like, but
sorry. What I was going to talk about was your other point about they shouldn't have brought back the other characters. They should have done is sprinkled them through in singular appearances, like Ramius being an engineer working on stuff and talking to Talia about what the future holds and whatnot. That would have been a great single. And then maybe at the very end, do bring back the Archangel. Like, when the Earth, when Orb and everybody is coming back up to fight, and they're bringing out all the stuff, right? Like, this is the remaining Earth Alliance ships that have sided with us, and we're bringing back the Eternal. And then somewhere in the fight, like Han Solo helping Luke at the Death Star trench run, It's the
Here comes the
Archangel. The
Archangel.
Archangel's back. And I'm like, what? And you'd be like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, we've pedantic so much that I would have been like, what the hell? They didn't introduce this at all. Blah, 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 blah. But at least it would have been a better use of bringing the characters back one more time. You know, Yazek and gang are always just hanging around because they're Zaft members, and we're in a Zaft-focused show. So you could bring them back real easy.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't even have to bring them back. Just a note in the background. The same way we do like Janeway in the newer Star Trek movies, right? No, Admiral Janeway sends Picard a message about a thing, and then the rest of the movie is just Picard doing his thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like Durandal as a character because I found him intriguing. Like, oh, Durandal, you know, he's smirking all the time. So but I always waiting for that payoff. Because the thing is,
he took the mystery to the grave.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you're gonna set up that he is, well, then make some connections, right? I like that. I was afraid that he was going to be like a Palpatine and he had orchestrated everything. He was controlling logos from behind the scenes and like that would have been too much.
We talked about that in previous notes before.
Yeah,
that he had set up Jibril to do stuff, and then it's like, no, I guess not.
Yeah.
What was his source of information, though, where he got all the information Jibril had?
Somebody in Logos was betraying Logos, I guess, but then why not? I mean, that would have been interesting. That would have been interesting. Somebody in Logos was like, hey, I was on your side all along.
Well, I actually remember I had that one before. I had that one before when I was talking about the servant woman. I think it was helping. No, it was in the background of a scene of Jibril. There's this woman that looks like exactly the same woman that's at one of the hearings that Mir is giving before she gets hired. It's like I took screenshots and put them side by side. I was like, is this the same woman? Because I was thinking at the same time, like, where does Jibril get his information, or where does Durandal get his information? Is she a double agent or whatever? I think that turns out to be Sarah by the end.
I think it would have been much better. Again, the whole spy network, people spying, taking photos, and behind trees, and like, well, that's interesting. No, that stopped once became part of the crew of the.
Well, it was barely even looked into. It's like two old men taking pictures of nothing.
Yeah.
And one boat.
Like, it's just there was so much here, and the show just spent so much time spinning his wheels and like, oh, let's go back to the beach. Let's go back to the beach. Like, I've seen the beach already. You see, even that is like they try to pull it back at the last minute. Like, oh, that's a real Lacus. And it's like, yeah, that would have worked like five episodes ago. Where
again,
she
so
goes
far
to the
beyond
captain
it,
and
though.
go, yeah. You know, it's like, oh, hey, Captain, we can't be supporting this. Remember, I told you that report? That was the real Lacus. This was a fake. Blah blah blah. You know, can't do something with it, but you know,
I mean, it'd be like if there was a plus episode after this one, like there was in the first season, like a 9-minute short episode, and it'd be like somebody rushes in, guys, I think I figured out who did the break the world incident. Like, do we need to know anymore? Like, if that report doesn't say Gilbert Durandal, then I guess we got a movie on our hands.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the thing, right? What if Durandal didn't do the break the world incident? And it's like
he just exploited it.
There's another mastermind out there. Who is going to be the enemy of the movie? It has to be somebody introduced in the movie, right? Can't be somebody like, was George, the original coordinator, actually didn't get killed. He's been alive the whole time. It's like a Dracula situation. The oldest vampire comes back out to fight all the other vampires.
No, it's another organization behind Logos. Also, the fact that Logos was so stupid. I mean, I know I don't mind having a villain that is just, you know, more sexual. You can have the bad guy, which this guy is just bad. Kind of like Yuna was kind of set up like that a little bit. He was just a jackass. Somebody you were supposed to hate.
We clearly knew he was not going to be the main villain.
Yeah, no, it was somebody like his father. I think would have been a very interesting villain if he had more airtime. Like he's the real brains behind it. And it's like, oh yeah, he did a couple of things, and then Jibril shows up. Like, yeah, okay, I guess we got to do this. Blah,
well,
blah, blah.
because my point about him was that he was actually doing stuff that made sense. He has the whole speech about bowing the knee for the safety of the people. So I believe that he may have joined Logos or was subservient to Jibril for the safety of Orb. Because remember, it was the
Yeah.
Earth Alliance that invaded Orbit before and killed everybody. And knowing that Gibril is basically in control of the Earth Alliance is the safety that doesn't happen again. Now,
I
granted,
would have wished.
Gibril wasn't able to fulfill that because they get invaded again because of him.
Yeah, I wish that there would have been I don't know, maybe a coup d'état against Kigali. Kigali's fighting back, and then Terrence like, okay, we got to take her down. Instead, she's like, I guess I'm gonna get married. Blah, blah, blah. Or civil war when she comes back, like, oh, you motherfuckers trying to take over my country? I'm gonna go back. Or she'd even have called Kira and go like, I'm in a bad situation. I need you to get me out. Instead of Kira going like, yes, she's my twin sister, so I'm gonna join her. Bye. It's just
Sorry, what was your choice of
yeah.
word?
I would think it would have been a civil war. Yoink.
No, I heard a joinker. I was like,
Yeah.
that sounds like Star Wars to me.
No. Take her away.
Yeah, kidnapping. That's a viable option.
Yeah.
For everything that I've thrown out as like a viable solution to war and everything, on a lower tier level, we're just like, yeah, kidnapping's fine if it's your family. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of parents that try to kidnap their own kids, and that's not cool either. So,
and it would not cause an international incident, make the series more popular in the eyes of everybody, because they're like, oh no, outside enemies have a coordinator stole our beloved leader. We have to join Earth Alliance to try to get her back or something. I don't know. They could have done so much with this. The story keeps pointing like, oh, this is an interesting thing. Are we gonna do something about it? No. How about that? No. How about this and this? Maybe.
I have to wonder what the compilation movies are like. I have no desire to watch them. We only watched the compilation movies the first time because you hadn't seen the series and we weren't going to sit through a 50-episode series for you to catch up. But,
yeah,
I wonder what they do cut out. We did watch the original, and they cut out Artemis from that, which was pretty... it was pointless at the end of the day, but it did set things up, and he shows character interaction. Do we cut out all the flashbacks? I would be hard-pressed to imagine you'd have enough here to make 2 movies out of if you cut out all the flashbacks.
probably movie and an OVA, a 30-minute OVA afterwards, right?
Well, because the first compilation movies are so fucking rushed because they're packing way too much into shorter time period, but I don't feel like that's a problem here. I almost feel like you could make 1 movie out of this.
And takes a lot.
Well, essentially, the repeated times the Archangel just shows up out of nowhere to get into a fight. Cut that down to 1, maybe? Just so we can have Yuna get into a fight with Neo and, what's his name? The captain that sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
And, just to get all of that, interaction out of the way, we can cut the scenes together to make it 1 fight. And, a really accelerated, Neo's not happy, Dribbles not happy.
Yeah.
Yuna looks like an idiot.
Yeah. My angle of this, if I were to rewrite the whole thing, would be the Cold War turns hot. Oh, you had the peace treaty, but Logos is working behind using phantom pain to instigate a war. And then maybe halfway through the season, we have the break the world thing, and it goes hot, right? But at least have, people, I would have Minerva versus Phantom Pain. They're doing their thing. And then the people, if you're going to have the other characters come in, they'll be working in the background, investigating and talking, and Lacus is going back secretly because now she finds out about Amir, so she's hiding her identity, so she's investigating. Kira's doing this, right? And then when everything explodes mid-season, it's like, okay, now we have to come back and changing alliances and allegiances. Does the Archangel go with Earth because they believe that Zaft did it, or they join up with Minerva and their crew because these guys are murderous bastards that want to kill everybody in the plants? But turns out that Randall actually is a bastard because they discovered stuff about him. They actually explained what the Destiny plan involves. Yeah, this seems like a good idea, but God damn it, I don't want to live in this world. And I
would cut this down to 24 episodes by completely eliminating all of the Kira Oh, I'm having a hard time now with the Lacus. I don't know if I can cut out Lacus. Basically all of Archangel, everything with Mu, everything with Kira. Just make it. Gotta keep Atherin and Kigali as main characters because that's a major focus. The orb thing, and Atherin is our point of view in Zaft outside of Shin. But really, what did Kira add? What does Mu and Ramius? I don't give a shit about their relationship. He's dead. She went off to do her own thing. She's living with Waltfield now. Whatever the fuck. She's not in the show. In my version.
Yeah, that's another thing. It would have been great if they hug up together, Waltfield and Ramius. Like both of them are.
I'm not invested either way. I'm just mainly throwing your thing out there where you thought they were a couple and then just fucks off. Mu remains dead. We're not bringing him back. If we need, like, maybe we do have a Neo Roanoke in this, only because we do need Phantom Pain. But there's not going to be any connection to Archangel. They does not appear. Neo Roanoke is just a new character for all the scenes that we need Stella and everybody else to be in.
Yeah. And if you wanted to have the clone thing, it could have been a clone that the Logos got and programmed to be, on their side, and give him some wins.
Which clone thing?
The whole thing with Rao, right? If he's a remake of Rao, right? Rao,
I mean, it doesn't matter if he's a clone or not. And if you remove the whole Kira thing, that he is a clone is just the Durandal backstory thing.
Even doing Rey as a clone thing, I was like, he could be he could just be somebody who was raised by as an adoptive son by
or is just Talia's son.
Or is Talia's son, right?
But get rid of the whole picture as a meaningless thing that she dies there because Rey is dying and she wants to die with her son. But what I had a whole note about it before. It doesn't make any sense that Rao cloned himself because it's the whole I've got all my eggs in one basket, which is kill all humanity. But I'm also going to put a couple of eggs in this basket, which is clone myself in case I fail. What is the plan? You're going to kill everybody. You want a clone to be left? What?
Sorry, guys. We gave this a try, but this show was...
we're not done. So we're going to continue to give it a try.
Show itself.
Well, again, we're technically... Stargazer takes place concurrently, but I think it takes place concurrently with the early episodes, back when stuff was still a mystery. So, I mean, I'm unaware because I'm in a non-spoiler territory. I just think it's kind of ironic. The true wealth of this is that I had myself drawn to somebody who comes back as a clone, and you had yourself drawn to somebody that technically never died.
Yeah. So there you have it. That was Gundam seed Destiny, the show.
War in the Pocket, Star Blazers, version 2, HD remaster. I don't know what else to add.
9th MST.
War in the Pocket again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that being it. Once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?